Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead, welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe. I got an email from Dorothy Bergie, or Bergie, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, so I'm sorry about that. Subject line, Adam on Diamond. And in the email, Jared, I know you have thousands of emails, but maybe this will catch your eye. Yes, it has. Have any of your subscribers ever mentioned the article in the church news about the meeting that has already been held in Adam on Diamond? I am 74 years old, so maybe older than most of your subscribers. Well, let's take a look. Here's my analytics. You are in this age group right here, 65 plus, which is actually my largest age group, but 70% of my subscribers are younger than you. So that is correct. As you can see, the older you get, the more likely you are to watch my channel. So the wiser you get, the more experienced. So it makes sense. And then more than half of my audience is female. So same thing, wiser, more spiritual. Speaking of spiritual women, since we're talking about Adam on Diamond in Missouri in this episode, make sure to subscribe to Christian and Creative. This is Tamara. She's the one that let me and my family come stay with her. She lives right by Adam on Diamond, and she gave us a tour of Adam on Diamond and Far West, and also Hans Mill. She started a YouTube channel, and it's a music channel. So I'll put a link for it in the description box below. I would appreciate it if you supported her, and I know that you'll enjoy her music. Okay, let's get back to the email. I moved to Salt Lake City in August 2007 and taught school there for 14 years. Sometime in the first 4 years, so 2007 to 2011, I read an article in the church news about a meeting at Adam on Diamond. It stated that the presidency was there, all the apostles, all the 70, and assorted others, and they had the sacrament. I remember thinking at that time, is this the meeting? I tried to find the article in the church news archives, but either I don't know how or the article has been hidden. Anyway, I asked my brother if he remembers the article, and he does. So maybe you can find it. Unfortunately, no. But I am glad that you sent me this email because I came across some other really interesting things. And I'll keep that in mind. You never know. I may find it some other time. I'll ask all of you, everyone that's watching this video, do you remember this article? And do you know where I can find it? Can you send it to me? I think everybody would be really happy if I could do a video about that. Okay, so I did find some interesting stuff as I was searching for this that has to do with Missouri. And, I think something is going on. Like I've said before, I think prophecy is fulfilled in natural ways. A lot of times people just ignore it, don't recognize it, unless you have the eyes to see and the ears to hear. So let's take a look at this. The first article that I want to read from, this is from May 2nd, 1998 by R. Scott Lloyd, church news staff writer, and it's called LDS Experience in Missouri. Okay. It is being regarded as a landmark in LDS Missouri history, showing graphic contrast between the rancor of the 1830s and the cordiality of today. On April 24th, before an estimated 1,200 onlookers in the state capitol, Governor Mel Carnahan and Elder Hugh W. Pinnock of the 70 cut a ribbon to open a 3-month exhibit, a commemoration of the Mormon experience in Missouri. Scores of people gazed down from 2 tiers of the ornate Capitol rotunda on the proceedings, during which Governor Carnahan and his wife Jean received 5 bound volumes of their family history. The volumes were presented by Elder Pinnock and his counselors in the North America Central Area Presidency, Elders Kenneth Johnson and Lynn G. Robbins, both of the 70. The governor then read a proclamation noting that the exhibit, quote, tells the tragic story of Latter-day Saint families being driven from Jackson County in 1833, then from the entire western portion of Missouri in 1838, end quote. It observes that, quote, in this century, many Latter-day Saints have returned to Missouri, and others have joined the church, increasing their membership in our state into the tens of thousands, end quote. You guys, I don't think that this is any small thing. I think the Lord has been sending people this way, and then people that already live there have joined the church. But in my own life, I see that increasing. In fact, I see it in myself moving here to Kansas. The Kansas City area is on the border of Kansas and Missouri. When you think of Kansas City, Missouri, we're typically talking about Kansas City, Missouri on the Missouri side, but the metro area, it straddles the border. And when we moved here, it wasn't our intention to get closer to Kansas City and, Jackson County, but it did dawn on me once we got here. And I've seen other people, mostly from Western states, move here as well. In fact, we recently had a family that moved from Utah that now live in our town, which is kind of crazy because we've been the only people in town for these 4 years, but now we have another family with kids. So it's pretty amazing. And I've seen more. It's and I think it's mostly being driven by home prices, because anywhere west of Kansas is ridiculous. And just everyone is out of their minds with home prices. So that's what brought us here, because we wanted to purchase land and to homestead. That's why my channel is called Christian Homestead. And every time that we go to these church sites, the missionaries always say that it's like a common thing for them to hear people feeling that they're led to Missouri. I really think that there's something going on, but it's not necessarily a recent phenomenon. It seems like it's been going on for a while, but it seems like it is hastening. Okay, continuing. The proclamation further states that the exhibit, quote, describes this growth and culminates with the 1997 dedication of the St. Louis Temple, and emphasizes the value of tolerance for all religious beliefs in Missouri. Okay, so that's interesting. Let's move on to the next one. This is May 5th, 2012. Western Missouri, a scene of momentous church history, by R. Scott Lloyd. When the Kansas City, Missouri Temple is dedicated on Sunday, May 6th, it will symbolize the return of the Latter-day Saints as a body to a locale that was a scene of adversity and sacrifice in early church history. So this is written by R. Scott Lloyd. He's not, a general authority, but I think that's a really interesting observation. And erecting the Kansas City, Missouri Temple, very significant. There was going to be, if things had gone according to plan, there would have been a city built called the City of Zion, or New Jerusalem. This is what it would have looked like. We're on the Joseph Smith papers. And it would have been a city of 15 to 20,000. And in the center, you'd have 2 blocks. And this kind of resembles Temple Square today in Salt Lake. You would have had 2 blocks of multi-purpose temples. 24 temples, the ones on the east for the Aaronic priesthood, the ones on the west for the Melchizedek priesthood. And number 11 seems to be the one that would be like the primary temple. Okay. We've talked about the fact that the church has built the Independence Visitor Center, and they built it according to the specifications that were revealed to Joseph Smith, which you can find here on the Joseph Smith papers. They built that visitor center to be a future temple. I would presume temple number 13. So it's not just a visitor center, but having an operational temple in the Kansas City area, the first one would be the Kansas City, Missouri Temple. Okay, so I like this phrase right here. It will symbolize the return of the Latter-day Saints as a body. Okay, let's move on to the next one. This is April 7th, 2012. Kansas City Temple provides healing moment. This is written by Janine Agin, Church News contributor. The doors of the newly completed Kansas City Temple were opened on Thursday, April 5th, as hundreds of VIP special guests toured the 137th Temple of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Let me just point out, you have that 7 in there, and I've noticed that it seems like a lot of our temples, if it has like a 7 at the end, it usually seems like it's kind of like a special temple. For example, the Palmyra, New York temple was the 77th. And I feel like there's something special behind the Richmond, Virginia, which I think was the 177th. Anyway, I just want to point that out. Continuing, guests included Governor Jay Nixon and his wife, Georgianne, Kansas Governor Sam Brownback, Supreme Court justices and government officials from both states, religious, education, civic, business, and entertainment leaders, and members of local, regional, and national media. The historic significance of the building of the temple in northwest Missouri, situated near the city of Liberty, was on the minds of many. Remember, Liberty is the site of the Liberty Jail, where Joseph Smith was incarcerated. We've talked about this before, how, just like how when you had the first mission in England, it was in Preston, England, and that's where I think it was Heber C. Kimball was attacked by evil spirits. That happened in Preston, and now we have a temple in Preston, and now near the site, like not too far away. It's like, I think it's like a 10-minute drive, near the site where Joseph Smith was in prison. Now we have a temple. It's like the Lord has, has had a victory over, those temporary victories of the adversary. The Lord always wins. Okay, so Elder William R. Walker of the First Quorum of the 70, who serves as the executive director of the temple department. Elder Walker remarked, quote, and I've put this on my spreadsheet. I created a new entry for Missouri, return to. He says, "It is a great day for us, the church returning to Missouri, in such a magnificent way to where the prophet Joseph once walked." And then here's the temple. It seems like it's the same design as the Brigham City, Utah temple, from what I can tell. And then the spreadsheet that I was just referring to is right here. It's quotes A through Z. So I just added this. The topic is Missouri, return to. You can access my spreadsheets anytime. The link is in the description box of each video. Every video has the link. So go to the description box and then you can click on the link, and that's where I just say that because I always have people asking, like, is there a way to access it? Yes. The link is in the description box of each video. That's available to everybody. Okay, let's move on from that. There was this article in the Kansas City Star. 137th Mormon Temple awaits 75,000 visitors for public viewing, by Brian Burns. May 16th. Oh, this was updated May 16th, 2014. Okay. In their father's house, there are many rooms. So it is with the new temple built for the 25,000 Kansas City area members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Mormons. Later on, the temple's looming presence along Interstate 435 in Clay County signals a new, higher local profile for the church, which traces much of its history to western Missouri, but whose members, targeted by an 1838 extinction order signed by the Missouri governor, largely were driven from the state by people who feared their beliefs and growing numbers. Now, I thought this was interesting. The first Kansas City stake, or church organization, dates only to 1956. So I'm not a historian of church history in Missouri, but I wonder when, like, the first members of the church went to Missouri, or, were baptized in Missouri and stayed in Missouri, like in the Kansas City area. If you have any information on that, let me know. But, so the Saints, they went to Utah. They arrived in the Salt Lake Valley in 1847, and then it's like 100 years later, a little over 100 years later, there's now a stake in Kansas City. Obviously, before that point, there was probably like a district. I don't know how it went, but, it took a while. But you guys, it is no longer the 1800s. You don't have to stay in Utah or Arizona or Idaho. Not everybody's going to be coming to Missouri. And just so you know, because there's always people that have this idea that the entire church is going to go to Missouri, go to my spreadsheet called quotes, common misconceptions, go to the topic New Jerusalem, and then misconception, the entire church still has to be gathered to New Jerusalem / Jackson County, Missouri. The church has tried to dispel this over and over and over and over and over again, but this idea still persists. I'm not going to go over that here. You can go to my spreadsheet and read all this. I also have a spreadsheet called I have a playlist called New Jerusalem that talks all about this. So, but the point is, you can now go there if you would like, if you feel prompted of the Spirit. Don't be one of these people that go there without a plan, because apparently that happens. It's kind of like Jerusalem syndrome, where you have Jews that immigrate to Israel, but they don't have a job. They don't have a way to support themselves. Don't do that. But if you feel prompted, hey, come join us. Come move to Kansas. Come move to Missouri. Okay, move to Nauvoo. Move to Kirtland. Okay, the temple's construction in western Missouri is significant for at least two reasons. First, it's located only a few miles from Liberty, where church prophet Joseph Smith Jr. was imprisoned during the winter of 1838 and 1839. Quote, and here's that quote again, "It's a great day for us, the church returning to Missouri in a magnificent way, to where the prophet Joseph once walked," Walker said. But it is more than just where the temple is located, Walker said. It is also how many members will be using it. Though church members began to slowly return to the Midwest before World War I, today there are about 66,000 members across Missouri and Kansas. And I wonder how much it is today. But this is exciting. You know, it's been happening in a natural way, in an orderly way. I do think that there's been a hastening, like I said, because of home prices out west. I've seen multiple examples of people moving here to the Midwest and moving to Kansas and Missouri. Okay. And then I stumbled across this. This is President Kimball's visit to Far West Temple site in Missouri. And then there's another article of him going to Adamondiaman. There's this sign, Valleys of Adamondiaman. And then President Spencer W. Kimball and his wife. I decided that I was going to add this to my spreadsheet where I've been keeping track of visits to Israel. And I was going to track other things too. I was going to try and track every time that an apostle went somewhere, but that's kind of a tall order. So I didn't end up doing that, but I have tracked every instance that I know of that they've gone to Israel. And so I decided, you know what? I should do this too. Anytime that we have prophets or apostles going to Missouri or maybe other significant church sites. We had already covered President David O. McKay's visit he went to Independence, Liberty, Adamondiaman, and Far West. We covered that here. This is the University of Virginia's Mormon Studies program, and they have excerpts from David O. McKay's diaries, and you have all these different topics that you can look at. We've looked at this one pretty in depth, Missouri. It takes you here. This is where we find out, as far as I know, this is the only place that we find out that Far West is the spot where Cain killed Abel. So the Garden of Eden was in Jackson County, Missouri. That's why the New Jerusalem is going to be built there. It's not going to be Salt Lake. The plan is still for Jackson County, Independence, Jackson County, Missouri. Adam and Eve, after they were cast out of the Garden of Eden, they dwelt in Adamondiaman, which is north and to the east of the Kansas City area. And also north and to the east is Far West. And so that's where Cain killed Abel. And it seems that that's why they were going to build a temple there. And I'm sure it will be in the future. But anyway, you can come here and read about his visit to the Missouri sites. And it really affected him. And so I put that on my timeline. So that was back, let me zoom in. So that was June 1st of 1966 for President David O. McKay. And then, just about a little over 10 years later, President Spencer W. Kimball went there. The reason why he went there was to dedicate the Independence, Missouri Stake Center. So that's the one. I think it's probably stayed the same. I don't know, but it's the one that's right next to the Independence Visitor Center. So that's why he went there, but he visited all the sites, Independence on the first day, and then on the second day, Adamandayaman and Far West. So anyway, I think that's pretty much it. If you have any other quotes or anything, anyone talking about the church returning to Missouri, please send them my way if you have any additional information, and I'll just keep adding to my spreadsheets. If you know of any other prophets or apostles or general authorities that have gone to the Missouri sites or to Kirtland or to Nauvoo, I'd like to track that too. Because I think they probably go there more often than what we know. And I don't think it's always publicized either. So, but I'd like to try and track down all the ones that are publicized. Oh, and by the way, I changed the name of this spreadsheet. It's called Prophets Travel. Before it was called Prophets Country Visits, but I'm just going to do Prophets Travel. Okay. All right. That's going to be it for this one. So if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it, leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.